While official events for the inauguration are underway already, not everyone is excited about his promises to shake up the establishment. Protesters in New York have staged demonstrations against what they call Trump's fascist and racist views. Mayor Bill de Blasio, actor Alec Baldwin and documentary filmmaker Michael Moore spoke in New York. Meanwhile, in Washington, D.C., police and protesters clashed outside Donald Trump's hotel. Relations between Turkey and the US became strained in 2016, and Turkey says it's hoping for that to change with the new president. For more on this, we're joined by Talha Kose, live from Ankara. He is Turkish security and politics specialist from the SETA Research Institute. Thanks ever so much for joining us. How do you see the relationship between Turkey and the Trump administration developing?
I think if we describe the situation right now, especially in the second half of the Obama administration, Turkey's relations with United States was very negative. So it was very low point, and there were many areas of disagreement, especially with regard to Syria, with regard to U.S. support to Kurdish group in Syria, PYD, and also to U.S. policy with regard to FETA organization. So starting from this low point, I think switching to Trump administration is getting into neutrality with a possible move into positive direction. So there are some areas of cooperation between Turkey and US, and getting rid of this negative legacy of the second term of Obama administration is promising, especially in the areas of fight against Daesh and in area of cooperation in the Iraq is important. And also there are some areas of disagreement with regard to FETA.
Well, you talk about those areas of disagreement and this move towards neutrality. One area of disagreement, of course, is the extradition of Gulen. Mm-hmm. How do you expect Trump to compare to Obama on that issue?
I think he's a rational and practical person, and he may consider the situation with regard to FETA. FETA is not an asset for US anymore. He is a great liability, and all segments of Turkish society hate him, and he is an impediment between strengthening ties between US and Turkey. So if he behaves more rational, practical way, I think giving FETA or constraining his activities within the US will be a very positive move, and he will be like a star. He will be considered as a star in Turkey. And the second issue is with regard to PKK's attacks in Turkey. In the last couple of months, there are increasing attacks, and this is connected to US support with the PYD and US policy with regard to Syria. So if Trump is more willing to cooperate in Turkey in the issue of Syria, and also if Trump administration limits its military support to PYD, that would be a second important cooperation which will turn the relations into very positive direction.
So what about, you mentioned Syria there, what about Syria? Is there going to be scope for Ankara and Washington to have a shared vision?
I think there is a possibility of shared vision. So as we know, one of the impediments of cooperation in Syria was the tense relations between Obama administration and Russia. So Russia was the main actor, very important actor in Syria, and that tense relations did not allow for cooperation in that issue. So most likely, there's already a consensus between Turkey and Russia with regard to the political process.
Thank you very much. It's really interesting stuff. And don't forget, you can visit our website for more news. The headlines continue after this.